Hello Malaysia, hello world. Apa khabar? Welcome to another ECM Talk program with topic How to Swim Without a Pool. I'm Raja Shahrul, your host. Everyone wants to be an Olympic swimmer like Michael Phelps or Ian Thorpe. But luckily, you don't have to be an Olympic swimmer to benefit from the sport. People of all ages, from all backgrounds and with various levels of experience can benefit from swimming. Swimming is one of the few sports you can do from a young age and all the way up into your 90s and beyond. Swimming is very much a social sport. Swimmers of all ages can take classes together, train together, or work with a swimming instructor. But learning to swim without a pool, this I get to find out. And talking from the topic is something different. Anyway, let us hear from the man himself who will tell us more about our topic for today. I have here with me Mr. E.J. Yeap, or better known as EJ, the founder of Swimming 12, the Swimming Academy. Welcome to ECM Talk. Apa khabar, EJ?
And good morning, Raja Shahrul. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you on our program, EJ.
We're happy to be here.
Alright, maybe let me start, EJ. Perhaps you can share with us a little bit about yourself and about your academy.
Basically, I run a swimming school. It's called Swim in 12. It stands for Learn to Swim in 12 Hours Guaranteed. So if you cannot get it in 12 hours, we keep teaching for free until you can swim. So we've been running this academy for about 12 years already. And what got me started was I noticed when I was starting in, there's a lot of coaches who are focusing more on building national swimmers and trying to get the fastest swimmers. Then there's a lot of students who learn for a long time, still cannot get it, they're usually neglected. And that's where I want to focus more on those who are slow learners, those who are extremely afraid of water. I didn't know, actually a lot of adults who couldn't swim as well. So eventually that became my niche for the past 12 years, helping those extremely afraid of water.
Interesting. Now, what motivates you to pioneer this academy, EJ?
When I was teaching, I had a few students that have been learning for many months, 6 to 8 months, still they're not let go of the board. So then eventually I teach in one class can able to let go of the board, second class can swim breaststroke, third class can float on the back. Then I realized, what do I have that some other coaches doesn't have, especially like certified coaches. Then I realized it's more about the breaking down of skills. So that really motivated me to keep going towards this direction and keep looking for new ways to teach people in a very easy way, and also focus with those who don't want to go for competitive, those who just want to swim for fun, for leisure, go to island someday. So that has been a push for me.
Right. And yourself personally, EJ, were you yourself a swimmer, or do you participate in one of the international event competition?
No, I was only competing when I was in the primary school. Other than that, I'm not like a professional swimmer, I'm not like a professional teacher, I'm not even like a school teacher as well. I come from a IT background, computing, and I love breaking things down and like programming any programs out there. The error must be kept to its minimum, if not the program cannot run. So then there's a lot of if and else. If this happens, what do we do? So I apply the same way of thinking into teaching swimming as well. So then eventually I just fall in love with it so much. So this has been my passion for the past 12 years.
Fantastic. Now, how do you maintain your business despite this current MCO situation and with so much restrictions, EJ?
So realistically, during the MCO, the pool is not allowed to open. So when the pool is not allowed to open, swimming coaches have zero income. We cannot teach swimming without the pool. But the good news is 3 weeks before the MCO, we actually predicted it and we prepared ourselves. So in 10 days after the MCO was announced, we immediately create this program, which we wanted to start for a long time. Then we didn't do it. The MCO kind of pushed us to do it immediately. So in 10 days, we launched a a way of teaching swimming without the swimming pool, where we help students to learn about the science of swimming. For example, if you have more air, you will float, less air, you will sink. This applies when you're learning floating, you're learning backstroke, and the reason why you sink down. And from there, once the student learn this concept, immediately we get them to think about, what about real life scenarios? Is there something realistic in the world that's been using this kind of concept as well? Then from there, we introduce them the submarine. So submarine has a ballast tank. You want the submarine to float, you let more air in. You want it to sink, you let go the air. So from there, we want students to be more and more curious about science. We want them to think about the everyday things that they learn, the concepts they learn. Are they able to apply it in their real life or not? So from there, we get them to build their own submarine as well. Yeah, so this is something that really fun that we introduce to our students.
So in other words, EJ, it's not just about jumping into the pool and learning how to swim. It's into a lot more than that, isn't it? You teach them.
Yes, it's understanding the science behind why they do what they do. And what I see in a huge improvement is when they come back for swimming, a lot of things we don't need to remind them anymore. Like for example, we ask the students to keep their hands straight. If you keep your hands straight, you swim faster. So sometimes the student remembers, sometimes the student doesn't. So but now they have the concept that this applies in the shape of a ship, of an airplane, of a rocket. It's because of that aerodynamics thing. It helps them move faster, more efficiently. So every time when they are swimming, they think about the rocket, they think about the ship. We don't need to remind them so much. They know why they need to do it. So this is something that we see in a huge improvement when they come back. So really enjoy this process.
Right. Now, EJ, talking about your students. Now, your students, when they go, are they really who have interest in the water? Because there are problems about people who are scared of water. EJ, how is that? Yeah.
For students who are afraid of water, it's very normal. It could be from the past, in the olden days, how parents used to control their child to say, hey, don't get near the water. Every time they get near water, then you get scolded. So it's like a program that water is dangerous. So when with this kind of mindset, sometimes students just don't know why. They just feel that, they're just afraid of water. So eventually, as we are able to tell them the benefits of swimming, for example, it's not just more about a survival skill or not just about a sport. It can be also used for leisure. One day when you want to go for a holiday, many times I go to holiday with friends in the island, then there are some people say, oh, it's okay, I'll just take care of your bags on the island, I'll just take care of your bags on the boat.
Exactly. Yes.
They go to beautiful hotels in the world. When you travel, then you don't get to use the pool. It's kind of a waste as well. So it's a lot more. It's exercise, it's survival, it's health, it's leisure as well. So there's a lot of benefits from learning swimming.
Everybody has this thing about liking to have a swimming pool either in the house or in the condo, but it's not about they themselves really going into the water themselves. It's just about having it, but not really going into the water. I think I'm more speaking for myself really. Anyway, what are the basic swimming skills or survival skills that everyone needs to learn? EJ, maybe you can share with us.
I think one of the most common mistakes is when you ask somebody, how's your English skills? Most people will say, oh, very good, my English is very good, right? But the degree of how good it is varies. So the same for swimming. Sometimes people will come to me and say, yeah, I already know how to swim, I just want to learn a little bit. So when we ask them to show what is able to swim, some people swim just 10 meters, then get really tired already, they're panting.
Right.
So to me, what's swimming is at least you're able to swim a long distance, but you're not panting. Swimming should be like walking. Like when you travel overseas, you can walk for a long time, you feel tired, but you can keep walking. It's not like running, you run a little bit, then cannot go on anymore, right? So swimming should be a relaxing thing to do. So basic, at least you're able to swim 50 meters or 100 meters in a very relaxing way, not tired. Then second, you're able to not be afraid of deep water. So if your leg cannot touch the floor, you understand what are your backup plans, what can you do? So in case you cannot touch the floor, you're still able to survive. Then you can go into learning how to float on your back. So one day, let's say you're surrounded at sea, if you don't have anything to hold on, you can always float on your back to relax. Then you can learn some contingency plan. Let's say when your leg is injured, both your legs are cramped, how do you swim with only your hands? If your hands is injured, how do you swim only with your legs? And the beauty is anybody can do it. Even somebody is like 50, 60, 80 years old, you can do it. Because the beauty of water is you don't need a lot of strength, you don't need a lot of stamina to do it. It's all about techniques. When you get the right techniques, you can survive very, very easily.
Right. So in other words, EJ, if people who are not familiar about swimming or not liking water, you can always teach them psychologically to accept that it is fun, it is safe, and it is a good exercise kind of thing. Would you do that? You teach them that way too, isn't it? Yeah.
Swimming is very easy to teach. It's in fact a lot of things in our mind when we're not exposed to it. We feel that it's either we are born with it or we're not born with it. Like
exactly.
Like singing, like a backflip. At 31 years old, I learned how to do a backflip for the first time. It's something that I feel, this is for young people. Only when you're before 20 years old you learn it. Once you're too old, it's hard. In fact, it's all about having the right teacher. Teacher, someone who can break it down step by step. They know the timing on when to push you, when to hold back. So with that good teacher, you can learn almost anything nowadays. So I feel that having a good teacher is really important. It's not about showing off on how fast I can swim. It's all about how I convey that message to you in a very easy to understand way, in a very step by step that you enjoy the process. So I like those days when I learned swimming, right, I was thrown in a pool, then I was like struggling. Then the teacher was like, you gotta survive. If you don't survive, then you'll drown. So I learned being thrown in the pool to survive. So that's a pretty traumatic way of learning. So that's the old school way. Nowadays it's very easy. Now it's all about breaking down the step by step. Eventually, when you understand why things work, you don't really need to be motivated. You are the one to tell the teacher, hey, I want to go deeper, I want to go further. You will be self-motivated. So with the right teacher, the teacher can actually activate that.
But you as you said, EJ, about having someone who is scared of the water or who just doesn't like swimming, having them to push them into the water and make them learn the hard way, is this something that you would encourage?
Pushing them in the water, no. Those are old days because when there's not enough way to teach. You just throw them in and get them to survive. It's either you survive or you don't. Those are just lack of choice of words. So now as we research more and more into teaching swimming, it's a lot about having the right choice of words, being able to slowly encourage them by understanding. I believe a lot in education rather than motivation. With the right education, people know why they need to do it, what to do. They're able to want to constantly chase for more. So it's on the other end. Instead of the teacher pushing the students to do it, it's the student. We want the students to constantly tell the teacher, give me more. Let me try something new. So then we teach them more than just swimming. We're teaching them how to take risks, take calculated risks, get excited, enjoy swimming very much.
As and when they come to see you, EJ, it's not an immediate thing where you get them into the water immediately, do you? Or do you need to sort of psychologically prepare them?
For adults, usually we'll start with a shower. And you'll be surprised. I have students who is like 30 years old. When they shower, they're still showering like this, covering the face to make sure that water doesn't touch the face. It's like, you've been showering like this for 30 years. It's like, I'm very afraid of the water. So even as students like this, we start our way into the water, but we start really slow. We start things like, let's learn about what your mouth can do, what your nose can do. Let's slowly put your ears, one ear in the water, put the other ear in the water. Go step by step, understanding, explaining. Like the nose can only do two things. The nose can blow, the nose can stop. As long as you don't breathe in, water will not go in. Then as we understand a lot of reasons, for me, I've broken down like 16 different reasons why people are afraid of water. So from there, when we are able to see what is their main cause, then we're able to give them a solution to it, then they're able to fix it very, very easily. So we start in the water, step by step. We won't like immediately just jump in. Even let's say for kids, right? We will start from a baby pool. Usually we ask them, do you prefer the big pool or the small pool? They usually prefer the small pool, then we start with that first. So many things can be done when somebody's really comfortable.
And the teaching of, the basic teaching of how to float, would that be something of important to you, EJ?
You mean back float or forward float? Yes, both are actually pretty important. For facing down, that is the start of if you want to learn how to swim forward. any stroke always starts from facing down. We usually call it the Superman. So you keep your hands straight, head down, legs up. Yeah, that's really important. That's the foundation for everything they're going to learn. But not everybody can start with that. Because to a lot of people, what they're afraid of is not the water. A lot of people are afraid of being off balance, not being in control. So when they lift their legs up, they feel, oh, there's no more control, there's no more gravity. That's where the fear comes in. But there's so many ways to counter that. For example, we start with the ladder first. They can hold the ladder, lift their legs up. They can learn how to hold the ladder to hold their breath a lot longer in the water first. So as they get more comfortable, they learn how to let go the ladder bit by bit until they can let go longer. You can put your hands at the back and hold back the ladder. Then realize, hey, my legs is really working up. So you can go for that step by step.
Yes.
For facing up, it's a bit more scary, but same concept. Most people are afraid of floating on the back is because lack of control. When they float on the back, they feel like they could fall anytime, and there's a risk. Whenever you float on the back, you're facing up. When you're facing up, if the water covers your face, water will immediately go into your nose. So they have to learn what to do if the water covers the face. So sometimes people are not afraid of the water, they're afraid of the pain when the water goes in your nose. So learn what are different ways to counter those pain as well. So step by step, understanding their fear and solve it.
Right, okay. EJ, do you have any quick tips that you may like to share with our viewers who are considering to start this sport? You know, it doesn't matter whether you're 12 years old, whether you're 40 years old.
I would say don't wait until somebody in the white coat tells you that you need to learn swimming, then you start. So many times a lot of students are being recommended by doctors because they say, oh, now you have back pain, now you have knee pain, running is not encouraged anymore. Go for swimming because there's no more gravity, it's easy on your joints. Then the older you start, sometimes your memory is being affected as well. But our oldest student is 82 years old. Now she can really swim like many laps, like half a kilometer already. So it's never too late, but the earlier you start, the easier it is for you. Yeah. So and swimming is like it's a life skill. It's like learning language. Once you know how to speak, it's like forever you can know how to speak in that language. Same for swimming. Just invest in the one-time fee. Once you can swim, it's for life. So that whole package for beginners, right, is total is 3,400 ringgit. There's also the smaller breakdowns. But imagine 3,400. If you live for another 10 years, it's only like 340 a year. If you live for another 30 years, that's like 100 ringgit a year. So it's a very important investment. It's cheap. It's not something where you learn then you will forget. Especially our program is called a guaranteed program, where we teach until you can get it. Once you get it, you pass the test. 2 to 3 months later, we'll call you back for another test, just to see whether your skills is sustainable or not. We don't want to just say, oh, you graduated, that's it, bye-bye. 2 to 3 months later, we just want to check, everything's okay, then only we give you a certification. So things are sustainable. So once you sustain, you don't need to keep paying to learn swimming anymore. Yeah, so I encourage you to start as early as you can. For us, we start at 4 years old and above, and oldest, we did 82. If you're older, we will love the challenge as well. So start as early as you can.
Fantastic. Thank you, EJ Yeap, for sharing this very interesting topic. And I don't know whether it's still not too late for me, isn't it, EJ?
Definitely not too late. Definitely, it's very easy to learn. Start step by step. I'm sure you're able to get it. Yeah, maximize your swimming pool.
Yes. Thank you, EJ. There you have it.
Thank you.
All confusion resolved. Thank you, EJ, for your interesting sharing on this topic. Why not jump in? Why not jump in? And literally speaking, it's not too late to gain from the hidden benefits of swimming. Swimming is perfect for your mental and physical health. Water is a low-impact sport that provides more resistance than dry land. But EJ have proven us otherwise. Learning how to swim without the pool. It is truly the perfect sport. Once again, thank you, EJ, for coming to our program with this exciting topic. ECMians, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Edu Channel Malaysia. Until we meet again in our next program, kita jaga kita, everyone. Stay safe everyone and jumpa lagi.